Alright, so today we have a couple of updates on some other stories, and maybe like one new thing. So we'll actually start with like the happy one before we get to the like screwed up one. So a few months back, I made a video about a guy named Republic Attack, who is the guy who had a massive amount of his Lego collection stolen, about $18,000 worth of like vintage Lego, and then there was like a huge GoFundMe raised for him. And then the GoFundMe would have gone way further, but he asked for it to be stopped because he didn't want to get any more money than what he valued what he had at. Basically, he's just like, you know, if like $18,000 worth of Lego was stolen, I don't want any more than $18,000 from a GoFundMe, so he asked for it to be stopped. I guess he did get the money. He recently uploaded a new video about a week ago saying that he's back to building again. And that's just really great that he's finally feeling like kind of his like passion for it coming back, and just, you know, that when he made that original video, he was, you know, you're just kind of at the end of the ropes. When you have something that horrible happen to something that you're passionate about, to something that you love, and it just, the whole world feels like it's against you and you want to quit, and then, you know, humanity actually comes through and does a solid. And it's for reasons like that that to me makes it worth it. For all the people that want to pull these stupid, shady scams, it's situations like this where people can really come together and just make a positive difference in someone's life who's just doing something creative with their time and their passions. It's really great. So that was kind of the upbeat one, is that he's doing a lot better. He's coming back more regularly soon, and he's back to building, and I'm very excited to see what kind of creations he comes up with. So really happy that you're back building, and that's, again, guys, if you guys have not followed or subbed to this guy, it's a Republic Attack, but Attack's just spelt with the K, not the CK. So now we get on to the slightly more screwed up stuff, which is going to involve a bad Google Translate. So if you guys remember, also a few months back, I made a video about a guy named Peluchin Entertainment, who was the guy who tortured his cat to death and then had 2 other kittens. And there's a lot of different information kind of circling around there. What we had kind of confirmed by the end of it was that, you know, he hadn't actually been arrested because of the way that the laws work where he's from in Chile. But there's a lot of different stuff saying that he was like in a hospital, and that he was hospitalized, but there was no confirmation of that. The only thing that we'd really confirmed was that the cats were no longer in his care, and that there was some kind of investigation going on surrounding the situation, and I'm pretty sure he just is in a situation where he can't upload right now. And there was a lot of weird stuff that came out of that. There's a lot of people like defending him. There's a lot of people that were like following him for it because, I don't know, being edgy on the internet is cool or whatever. It ain't cool to abuse animals, just come on. But last week, so this is super late, this was actually a topic that was supposed to come out in a video last week, but I think I accidentally deleted the video and I was having a bunch of problems uploading to YouTube, so I have to do this again. But he ended up releasing just a statement on his YouTube channel, not a video, but just one of those like community messages. So this is the very bad Google Translate of it. So he basically wanted to clear the air because people had a misconception about the situation that was going on. Because like I said, a lot of people said that he had been arrested. A lot of people said there was like court dates. And there's just a lot of misinformation circling around about it, which was what I basically said in my original video. Because some people right off the bat said like he had been arrested, but he wasn't. And then a lot of other people from this country were like, no, he hasn't been arrested, but he is being investigated. Just the way that the laws work here, he can't be arrested. So let's read his statement. Again, very bad Google Translate. So he says, I'm not hospitalized. The reason why I have not connected and why I have not uploaded videos is because I'm being banned from the internet, which makes sense. You know, you commit a crime on the internet. I would see that if it's not going to be your family that's going to say that you can't be on the internet, I would say that, you know, authorities might be like, you're not allowed on the internet. And he says, but when I can, I'll upload a video and I'll be telling what really happened to me because there have been rumors. So at this point, you're like, oh, is he going to try to say that he didn't do what we have video evidence of him doing on the internet? Let's continue. I just want to clarify some things that they invented, so fabricated probably. I was never arrested. Like I said, the cats were never taken from me. And yes, I was interned, but for 2 weeks. So basically he was detained for a couple weeks because of it. But then he was let out early for good behavior. And because the psychiatric hospital was filled, they couldn't really hold him there either, even though his parents wanted him to be there. But I guess now he's on medication, which is supposed to calm him down. And it's not a big deal. It's just for him to be calm, and that's it. As if he's like concerned that people think he's on some kind of like intense psychotropics or something like that for some kind of like, we don't care about you. I just want to put that out there. I don't care about you. either way, he's just very concerned that people think that he's locked up in some mental hospital or something, even though he's saying here that the only reason why he's not really in one is because there wasn't really enough room to justify keeping him there. And then another rumor would be, I never took the cats. When it happened, my mom decided to deliver the cats to an ex-friend because my mom supposed the animals were going to mess with us. She decided to give back to the animalist. This is where like some of the Google Translate gets messed up. I know somebody said that one of his friends or his ex-friends has the cats, so I don't know if it was just that like the mom gave them the cats or if they came and got the cats, but I don't know what he's trying to say there, but either way, the big point there is that those cats, those kittens that he shows in the other video are not in his home, not under his care. They're gone. They're either back with whoever the cats came from originally, or they're with that friend. Then he says, I was never arrested. I was only having to go to trials. Again, we get that. And obviously I will not go to jail, but I do not know what they will do to me. I'll find that out in 2 more months because the trials were postponed. So he doesn't think he's going to go to jail based on his age. He's probably going to get some kind of sentence, but it could be, I don't know, with the juvenile. I don't think there is like a juvenile detention thing equivalent in Chile. I think that's what somebody was saying, but I'm just very interested to see what they give on him. I don't know, like I hope they do something where he's not allowed being around animals. I hope he's not allowed owning animals. I hope that's something that goes on a record so that if he tries, but it's like, it's so easy just to find like a stray or something, and it's so easy to get animals in a position where you can abuse them, but I don't know what kind of punishment you would give to somebody in this case, but I guess we'll have to see. So then he was like concerned that the newspaper said that the trial was on March 26th, even though it was actually on March 27th. Like there's a bunch of information going around that he had kind of committed a bunch of attacks against his own family and just various people at his school. So I guess that might have been addressed in some of the court cases, but then he kind of goes on to say, I do not have much to tell. Everything that happened, I will tell everything detailed in a video when I can, because now I cannot, because I cannot access the internet. And I write this because I'm fed up with people thinking I'm hospitalized or that something bad has happened to me. Nobody is concerned that something bad happened to you. Like this just kind of shows the disconnect that this kind of person has and that he's just really unwell. So he basically brutally attacks and kills a defenseless animal. And now he's worried about what other people think of him as a result of that because he doesn't want them to think that he's in a hospital. He doesn't want people to think that he's been like arrested or something. He's worried about his image in this situation. He's not worried about the fact that everybody knows that he's like an animal abuser, or not even just that, like an animal torturer. He's worried that people think he's in a psychiatric hospital. That's why he should be in a psychiatric hospital. Then he goes on to say, for the moment, nothing has happened to me. The trials were postponed. I do not know what they are going to do to me, but it is more than clear that I will not go to jail or anything like that. Rather, almost nothing. So I guess based on the way that how old he is and the rules that they have in Chile, there's probably not much that they can do. But I am interested to see what is happening. I'm happy that there is at least some kind of court case, and I really do hope that he has to at least show up for some kind of regular mental psychiatric checks, because this is absolutely outlandish. I guess if somebody is a little bit better with Spanish than me, let me know if there's anything that I kind of got really wrong. I'm pretty sure I have the general gist of what he was saying. But yeah, this guy is an absolute cocksucker. Just horrible, horrible, horrible person. I don't usually want to condemn people that are like that young, but when you get to the point that you're willing to do that to an animal, it doesn't really matter how old you are. That's super fucked up. It shows a complete lack of empathy or emotional anything, and the dude needs some serious, serious help. I'm still disgusted. All right, now one of the other stories I wanted to mention a little bit more in detail, because I kind of added it in really quickly at the end of the video and everybody was like, what? Is when I mentioned that guy that had committed the SWAT attack. And I just mentioned it really quickly at the end of the video. But so basically there's a guy named Tyler Barriss who was arrested for swatting a family. And when I mentioned how it happened to me, was that this same guy was the guy who called in the SWATs at one of the gaming events I was at. So last year's Dallas, so technically it was Dallas of 2017, the Dallas event for MLG or CWL, there was 2 separate bomb threats at that event. And it was this guy that had called them in. And then not long after that, there was a swatting that resulted in the death of a father. And basically the surrounding information was that 2 kids got into an argument, or 2 teenagers got into an argument over a $1 wager match. So basically you're competing online in a wager style tournament, usually SND or something, and it was for $1. Now, the two of them got in such an extensive fight that one of them basically said, like, I'm going to pull up where you live or whatever. And then the other one basically was all like, yeah, sure, let's see what you can do. Here's my address. Except he didn't give his address. He gave an address that wasn't his. So then that kid goes to this Tyler guy and says, hey, can you SWAT this house? And this guy, being the 26-year-old shit stain that he is, says, sure, I'll call in a SWAT, even though I should have better things to do with my life at the age of 26. Called the SWAT in and basically pretended to be a teenager that had killed his father and that he had his mom and his brother in a closet. And on the phone was saying, yeah, you know what? I might just kill them too. Basically. So they're in a situation where when they're calling, they are letting the people know, they're letting the team know and the officers know this guy is armed. He's likely already killed somebody, and there's two other people that are in jeopardy, like their lives are in jeopardy. So when the SWAT team shows up and the guy who lives at that house is just like, what the hell is going on? And opens his door, he is shot by one of the officers and dies. He had nothing to do with the situation. He had no idea what was going on. He was just a random person who got caught in some kind of stupid internet feud, and he was a father and a husband, and now he's dead because this 26-year-old sack of shit loser thought it would be fun to call in a SWAT and say that somebody had been shot and that there was an actual situation going on when it was just a regular night for this family. And now, luckily, he's been sentenced to 20 years in prison. And that honestly doesn't seem long enough to me, but at least it's something. I feel like, so the really unfortunate thing about this guy is that he'd been caught and arrested for this kind of crime before. But it's just, everybody's just so lenient with these crimes because they don't know what to do about them. So he had already been caught doing this. Like, what kind of loser do you have to have already gotten caught doing this to just continue doing it? So luckily they give him 20 years this time. I don't know if hopefully that's going to be enough for him to learn. Hopefully 20 years and having the knowledge that you got somebody killed for no reason. Like even if it was the right house, it was still over a $1 video game wager. It doesn't matter. Like, it didn't matter. And it's absolutely disgusting to me. And I think apparently the reason why he got 20 years was because he was very agreeable and he just went along with everything and pled guilty, didn't try to argue anything. And I think that gave him like a slightly more lenient sentencing. So I don't know if 20 years is enough, but at least it's something. At least it's kind of setting some kind of stage of like, this is not going to be tolerated. This isn't a joke. This isn't something funny to do to people in your spare time. This is really serious. For one, it is wasting resources. Even if nothing bad happens, you are wasting resources where they can be better used in an actual emergency situation. And two, you could actually get somebody killed. It's not funny. As of right now, the other two people involved, they're now 19 and 20 years old, so also adults. So let's just put that into perspective too. This wasn't like young kids. This was adults. You got one of them that still counts as a teenager, but at the heart of it, they are adults. So they're actually both still awaiting trial for their involvement in the situation. I don't think they'll get as much time because like you can mess around and just give somebody an address and it doesn't mean that that they're actually going to do anything with it. So the bulk of the blame still lies with Tyler, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen to these two. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. Just wanted to shed some light on that situation. I think it is absolutely atrocious. I'm glad he got 20 years. That's a little bit more than a slap on a wrist, but still not quite as much as I think he deserves for essentially killing someone. He didn't have the gun in his hand, but he might as well have. So that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.